Great. So, everyone, thank you so much for sparing time for today's webinar. Uh, today's webinar is not actually a kind of, you can say, a bookish or kind of very uh, standard related webinar. Rather, I would try to focus on startups. Uh, I should introduce myself first a bit so that guys, this is my son. Today is his birthday. So if you hear any noise, you should be sure that kids are outside and they are making noise. So don't mind it, please. Okay, just a bit of my introduction. I have served government of Pakistan for like 13 years, and I resigned from there. And then I started my own startup. When I started the startup, we had only 3 to 4 employees, and today we have got around 50 to 60 software engineers. And I would say that we are on the runway of taking that flight, which I always have been advocating. So, as you can see on screen, I have got a background of
Background of
can you please
can you
turn
please
off your mics because I can hear the echo? Okay. So, so as you can see, I have got a good background of trainings. I have been training on PMI standards, on risk management, on project management, on HR management, quality, etc. But today's lecture is quite very different. I would be addressing the realistic problems of the startups, which the early startups, early birds, they actually face those problems, and I would want to pinpoint them and to actually you can say address all of those. Just have a look at the screen and you can see that these days startups are really on the rise. You see every day you hear about Bazaar, they got funding. You see Jugnu got funding. You see Baikia got funding. Kareem got funding, right? Um, there are lots of startups activity going on. The creative economy is actually next thing for the future, and it is the future because you know that if you just talk about the developed countries and the countries who have been depending on the creative economy, they have actually supported hundreds of startups, and if only 5 to 10 of those got successful, they have generated so many jobs and so much of revenue, right? You see software industry these days or other startups, they are bringing a lot of remittance in Pakistan. So this thing is something you can say more focused to support your country rather just supporting yourself. These days, we face certain problems when we start our company. There are different ideas. People have got ideas in their mind that we can make something like, for example, like Cream. We can make something like Food Panda. We can make something like Groster app, right? And all these people who think on these lines, they don't understand that there are two different verticals of the startups which they have to generally focus on. One of those startups goes toward the service line and another one goes toward the product line. So what we have to see that what is the difference between both so that we can actually decide that which one is better for us. So I will talking bit of about this difference, and then how to define scope of your product, right? Many people come to my office and they want to start their own product, they want to get develop their own product, but they themselves don't know that what they actually need to start that product, right? So I would be talking a bit about that, and then importance of UX and prototyping, and then cost estimation and task assignments to your team and tracking those tasks. So, guys, let's move on. And if whenever I'm not audible, please, Imran Saab, if you are there, just call me up on my mobile because the chat box is not visible to me. Just call me here so that I can repeat. Uh, okay, so the product and project, they are totally different paradigms, right? When you want to get into the product, you want to deep dive into ocean, right? And that dive is not going to be easy. I don't want to make you guys worry about it, but what I just want is that you should understand what you are heading toward, and what kind of challenge you are going to take, right? We are a product based company, and we started this product 4 years ago, right? And I was reading somewhere, it was written that any of the startups which reaches to your ears generally, it takes them at least 5 years to reach your ears, right? So that means 5 saal the companies will keep working, and then you will actually know about them, right? And this first 5 years is the most difficult time for any startup, right? So if you go through these first 5 years, then you will probably reach somewhere which is your ultimate goal, right? When you talk about the product, you a new idea comes to your mind, and then you see that what kind of opportunities this idea has got, then you discuss with the people, right? And then you agree that okay, this part of the product we are going to make, and then you work on it, you develop it, right? And then you launch it, and then it's ongoing process that you keep on, you can say that you keep on improving that product. Whereas a project comes with certain requirements, those are specific, and it has got a specific time period, and you develop those requirements and you're done, right? So it is actually quite you can say that quite different ballpark game. When you talk about the project risks are the uncertain events or activities that can impact your project progress, right? That is something totally different. And if you talk about the product risk, right, that is your product may fail, your idea may not go and roll out as you wanted it, right? Market may not respond as you desired it to respond, right? And users and stakeholders, right, they matter in your product. So product risks are different. Product risk impact is too high, right? Project risk impact is not that much high, but product risk impact is quite high. If you just have a look at the product based companies, you see we have got product based companies over here. You can see Amazon, right? Facebook here, Google, right? PayPal. These are all product based companies. Product based companies pay more. Product based companies make more revenue. Product based companies are bigger, right? But they actually suck your blood out of you, right? See that these are both things which you have to understand. And then it comes services based company, right? You see the services based companies, they undertake the projects, complete it, and get their revenue directly, right? So you have to choose which line you are going to take. If you have got bigger goals, you have to go with the product. If you have got, even services based companies are making a lot of money, right? It is not only that the product based companies are going to make money. Services based companies, the project based companies, they are making a lot of money, right? So being a product based company, project based company is not something bad. But what I just want to tell you is the preparation is different, right? If you're going to jump in a pool, you should only know swimming, right? If you're going to jump in ocean, then you should know swimming, and then you should have your jacket with you, right? And then you should be prepared, and there should be some way out if you get stuck out of it, right? There are lots of things which you have to consider. So this is something very important. And then if you talk about the revenues which are connected, so if you see these three curves, the first one, the blue one, is the service-based company. A successful service-based company is going to take good revenues, right? It's right in front of you, and the dive is not that deep, right? So risk is not that heavy. And if you talk about the product-based companies, you see the dive is going to be very deep over here, right? And you have to go deep down, and there will be time when you'll feel that you're going to fail, and there will be time when when you'll want to give up, and there will be time when you'll want that it is not going to happen. But that will be time maybe when you are almost near to what you wanted to do, right? And if a product based company gets successful, right, then you see the curve is too steep. Your success is heard by everyone, right? You see Bikea, you see Grosser app, right? They Everyone knows about them. Why? Because these are product-based companies, and their products have been actually they have got successful, and then the curve is very steep. Okay, so over here, my first section of this whole webinar, right? And this is not going to be a very long webinar, but it will be very focused webinar. The first thing which you have to understand is that whether you're going to choose a product or a service, right? If you want to choose a product, you have to be very clear-headed in your mind that this is what we are going to make, right? People at times they come to me and they tell me, okay, we want to make an app which is exactly like Bikeya. Okay, then what is the point of differentiation? How you are going to be different from them, right? Okay, what are the nitty-gritties of that requirement, right? What are the difficulties and the bottlenecks at the technical side involved? A product has got a huge can you turn off your mics, please? Guys, can you hear me? I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
And my presentation is viewable to everyone.
Yes, please.
No, sir.
No, sir, it
Can you
is
see my
only the
presentation?
first slide. Only the first slide
No,
we are.
sir.
Oh my God. So you have
No,
to
sir,
tell me,
your
please.
presentation.
Oh my God. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
No.
I'm changing my slides. Okay. Actually, I don't have much experience with this Ring Central
Tool.
app. Let me stop and start again my screen share. Okay.
We can only see your face, sir.
Okay.
Hides at the
I hope you
moment.
like it.
Yes.
Can you see it now?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it's visible. Thank you, sir.
It's visible. Right. So I will just go through it a bit, and if okay, you see, I was talking about the risks, and then I was showing you the different products. You see, different products are here. These are the product based, companies which have been successful, and these are services based companies. These companies are also big, and these are also not the small names. So I'm just telling you that the challenge involved in both is very different. You have to understand those challenges, right? If you're going to jungle and you're not prepared for it, that's wrong, right? Going to jungle is not wrong, but having adventures is not wrong. Undertaking such challenges is not wrong, but not being prepared is actually our mistake, right? And because of that, we generally fail, and then we don't take courage to start it again, right? So we have to see. And then I was showing you this curve. You see this blue line. This is a service-based company, a successful service-based company. On y-axis, we have got the financials, and this is the time. And you see the dive is not very deep over here, and then it rises, right? And you start getting your success, and you start making money, right? But if you talk about the product-based companies, the dive is too deep. You see, you go quite down, and this is a time when 70% of the percent of the startups give up because they don't understand that how much deep further they have to go down, right? But if you make a success, the curve is very steep. The revenues involved are huge, right? So if you fail, you can fail over here, but if you make it through, it is something which is going to really change your perspective, change your life, right? So my first ask is that whether you want to be a services based company or a product based company, this is a decision which you have to make while you are starting a new startup, when you're starting your company. It should not be like that. Okay, we'll keep building the product, and we'll keep getting the projects, and we'll go side by side. So you are not clear headed. Decide first, because product would be difficult, and you have to, and the revenues, the investments which you will need would be, the technical part will need huge investment, trust me. And then and then marketing would need investment. So don't drain yourself all on technical side. Technical side, spend it wisely. You should keep, for example, you should spend 30% on the technology, and 70% you should keep for marketing, right? Moving forward, the next important thing which generally we face is that when we want to make our own product, or somebody asks us as a services company to develop product for them, we generally don't know that how to jot down all those requirements, right? Trust me, people come to me and they tell me that okay, हम चाहते हैं कि हम लोग एक ऐसी ऐप बनाएं जो कि ये भी करती है और वो भी करती है और वो भी करती है और वो भी करती है. Okay, what do you know that what how much scope you have got and how much money is involved and how much time you need, right? When we tell them, then they ask us, आप लोग तो बहुत ज्यादा चार्ज कर रहे हैं. Why? Because they themselves don't know what their ask is. They don't have their homework complete. So when you are thinking what you want to make, the first important thing is that start writing it down. You have to write it down, because when you write down things, at that time you understand that the that that what kind of mess you are getting to get into, right? So first of all, write it down, and then how you going to write it down? Okay, just have a look at it. I have just let me show you. You see over here, you see you have to write down that what module is it, right? And then what requirement is it? For example, if you ask me to make a food panda kind of app, so I will jot down every requirement. Okay, for example, sign in. It should allow you sign in from Google. Should allow you sign in from Facebook. Should allow you to create your own account using your email ID, or should allow you to create your account using your mobile phone, right? This is the one requirement for one thing, that is sign in or sign up, right? And then what we have to do and how this requirement will be considered as complete, right? And then next requirement, okay, home screen. On home screen, what should you see? Write it down. What you want to see over there. Write each and everything down clearly. Require this, so that against those requirements, then you have to decide the priority, right? You can see over here, see, then you have to set the priority over here, that this requirement, for example, when you will come when you'll get into the technology part, at that time you will be stuck and you will think you have to cut down some of the requirements. At that time you will cut down only the requirements which are not very important, okay, or which are you can rate them to three levels: high, low, and medium, right? So priority should be here. And then sprint one, that all requirements which are very important should be done in sprint one, and then you should keep moving ahead, right? So jotting down your requirement is the first step. If you don't write it, it's never clear to you, right? And you can't explain it to your technology partner as well. So this is my real, you see, right in front of you, this is my real sheet where I was writing my requirements when we started our product, right? Everything, what is the requirement, what is the story. For example, look at the story. As I land on the main page of the website or mobile, there should be clear link for sign up, right? And you have to write down your clear story, and then acceptance criteria, what will be done, and you will consider it that this is accepted, right? That is another important thing. Yeah, I can, but I'm worried that can you see my screens now? Can you see? Just put right on the chat box so that if you can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can
Okay,
see it now.
great. So when you move on, the next important thing is, half of the startups make this mistake, and I myself made this mistake, right? That we directly jump to the development part. Okay, अच्छा जी बनाना शुरू करें, ऐप फौरन से बनाना शुरू कर दें जी, start making your website, start making your app, start making your system, right? It's not like that. You have to understand that there are ways where you can spend less and see what you're going to get and whether your market is going to accept it or not. Do not start development. First of all, you have to have the first person on your team should be your UI UX designer, the most important chap on your team. Nobody understands it. People think, अच्छा वो तो स्क्रीनिंग बनानी है ना, ठीक है, एक फील्ड लगा देंगे, चार चीजें लगा देंगे, बन जाएंगी. No, that user experience and user interface is different, totally different. You see, this is your user interface on right side. You create your visual design, colors क्या होंगे, graphics कैसे नजर आएंगे, layouts क्या होंगे, टाइपोग्राफी क्या होगी आपकी वेबसाइट की. This is the UI part, right? And generally we do only UI part, we only focus on UI part, but there is a very important chunk which is missed in our market. People do not focus on it, that is UX part. In UX, what you do is generally you see these are the things which you do in UX part. And you see you have got scenarios कि क्या क्या सिनेरियोज बनेंगे. अगर कोई जाता है फॉर एग्जांपल कोई फेसबुक से साइन इन होकर आ जाता है तो क्या होगा. अगर कोई डायरेक्टली साइन इन करता है फिर क्या होगा. अगर कोई लैंड करता है स्क्रीन के ऊपर उसका मेंबरशिप है तो वो क्या देखेगा. मेंबरशिप नहीं है तो वो क्या देखेगा. अगर किसी का कार्ड एडेड है तो उसको कैसे नजर आएगा. किसी का कार्ड सेव्ड नहीं है तो कैसे नजर आएगा. दीज आर ऑल सिनेरियोज, राइट. एंड देन कम्स योर यूजर रिसर्च कि जो प्रोडक्ट आप बना रहे हैं वो किस तरह के यूजर के लिए बना रहे हैं. ठीक है, वो यूजर क्या चाहता है, वो यूजर क्या देखना चाहता है, वो ऑलरेडी किस तरह के इंटरफेस से कंपैटिबल है. और ये काम ट्रस्ट मी, इफ यू वांट टू डू इट योरसेल्फ यू कैंट डू इट एवर. Trust me, and I have made this mistake, right, myself. So what you have to do is you have to involve a proper UX designer, and when you are interviewing a UX designer, you have to interview it in a way that he is a UX designer, not a UI designer, right? You have to ask, go read UX designer questions, jot them down, interview the person, ask him those questions, and if he can answer those questions, then he is a UX designer, right? And sit with him and tell him what you want, right? And then he will design information architecture of your complete project. लोग कहाँ पे लैंड करेंगे, क्या देखेंगे, किसको चलाएंगे, कैसे चलाएंगे, ये पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन आर्किटेक्चर जो है वो पूरा डिजाइन करेगा. एंड व्हेन वंस इट इज डिजाइन्ड देन यू विल मूव टू द वायर फ्रेम्स, राइट, एंड प्रोटोटाइप्स. दैट मींस वायर फ्रेम्स इज समथिंग कि आप लोग हाथ से ड्राइंग्स बनाएंगे. अच्छा, स्क्रीन 1 होगी, उसके ऊपर एक साइन इन फील्ड होगी, 2 बटन्स होंगे, एंड देन नेक्स्ट वायर फ्रेम, देन नेक्स्ट वायर फ्रेम, देन पूरी ऐप का और एरोज लगा के किस बटन पे क्लिक कहां जाएगा, राइट. एंड देन ही विल मेक प्रोटोटाइप ऑफ इट. पूरी की पूरी चलती हुई ऐप Adobe XD के अंदर ही विल डिजाइन. यू डोंट नीड टू डेवलप इट. वो पूरी एप्स की स्क्रीन बनाएगा, बना के उसको चलता हुआ प्रोटोटाइप देगा आपको, जिसमें बटन्स भी क्लिक होंगे, स्क्रीन पे चीज डेटा भी नजर आएगा, सब कुछ होगा, बट इट विल नॉट बी योर एक्चुअल सिस्टम. एंड एफर्ट रिक्वायर्ड वुड बी ओनली दिस यूएक्स डिजाइनर 1 month. That is all you need, right? And then you have got your clear concept, ठीक है. और फिर उसका इंटरेक्शन डिजाइन बनाएगा कि यूजर उसके साथ इंटरेक्ट कैसे करेगा. आप देखिए कुछ वेबसाइट्स होती हैं वो सिंपल आपको साइन अप के लिए फॉर्म दिखा देती हैं 10 फील्ड्स के साथ. आप जाते हैं यहाँ पे, यार 10 फील्ड्स कौन फिल करेगा, राइट, और आप वापस चले जाते हैं. यू नेवर यूज दैट ऐप. एंड देन देयर आर एप्स जिनमें आप जाते हैं तो फर्स्ट सबसे पहले पूछता है व्हाट्स मे आई नो योर नेम, एंड यू एंटर योर नेम, एंड देन आस्क व्हेन वर यू बोर्न, and you enter your date of birth, and then ask you just 2 more steps to go. Can you tell me you want to log in using your email address or this and that? Okay, here's the final step. Just enter your password and you're done. See, on every step I was just doing it because my app was engaging me, right? So UX designer is extremely important person on your team and the first person to be hired, right? You see, this is a flow which your UX designer is going to follow, right? They are going to make the strategy for everything, right? Stakeholders कौन से हैं आपके, आपका विजन क्या है, आपके जो कॉम्पिटिटर्स हैं वो क्या हैं. देन इट विल बी डिस्कवरी फेज कि आपका कॉम्पिटिटर एनालिसिस करेंगे, वो एनालिसिस रिव्यू करेंगे, फिर उसके बाद आपके कंप्लीट जो सर्वेज और यूजर टेस्टिंग होगी. वो यूजर से आपसे नहीं पूछेंगे. देखिए हम लोग जनरली व्हाट मिस्टेक्स वी मेक, हम लोग कहते हैं यार अगर एक ऐसा सिस्टम बन जाए ना जिसमें यहाँ से पेशेंट क्लिक किया करे, ठीक है, और अपॉइंटमेंट चली जाए डॉक्टर के पास, और डॉक्टर जो है वो उसको एक्सेप्ट करे तो अपॉइंटमेंट बन जाए. भाई डॉक्टर इज नेवर गोइंग टू यूज द फोन, ही इज सो बिजी. आप अपने माइंड में प्रोसेस बना लेंगे, यू विल गो बैक, यू विल इन्वेस्ट सम लॉट ऑफ मनी, यू गेट इनटू द मार्केट एंड पीपल आर नेवर गोइंग टू यूज इट बिकॉज डॉक्टर्स नेवर यूज ऐप, राइट. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इट. सिमिलरली सेकंड थिंग इज दैट जनरली हम लोगों के माइंड में आइडिया होता है, हम कहते हैं यार ये तो बहुत फिट चलेगा, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होता. 90% of the startups fail because of the reason that they think ये बड़ा अच्छा चलेगा. Reach out, your UX designer will reach out to your audience and give them your prototype and check and ask them what do they need. And there are online websites, they charge you money, आप उन्हें अपना सिस्टम देते हैं and they record videos from the general public and how they are responding it. Before rolling out your whole development plan, you should do this activity, right? And then move to analysis, make use cases, write down user stories, ठीक है, पूरे पूरे boards बनाए, have a complete big huge whiteboard in your office, start writing over there, काला करें उसको, लिख के think about it, brainstorm it, because once you get into it and you put your all of the investment, after that going back would be difficult, right? So think about it and then make a complete site map and prototype, or the prototype ban jaye user testing, and once you are done, then this is the last only one step, that is production. Then move to production. Don't go blind eyes, don't have so much self confidence that मैं कह रहा हूं नहीं चलेगा तो ये चलेगा. No, ऐसा नहीं है. This is your thinking. So moving on to the next important step. एक और important बात, अच्छा, okay, from here on, once you are done with your UX designer and you have got your complete prototype in front of you and you know everything what you want to make, यहाँ से आगे project based companies and product is same, ठीक है. So अगर आप if you are undertaking a project, तो आपने यहाँ से आगे चलना है cost estimation से, right? और अगर आप if you are undertaking a product, आपने शुरू से लेके यहाँ तक भी आना है, ठीक है. So now cost estimation की अगर आप बात करें तो आप देखिए कि you have got in front of you, you have to understand. एक आपके पास क्लाइंट आ जाता है, वो कहता है जी मुझे ये चीज बनवानी है, ओके जी बताइए कितने पैसे आप लेंगे. हमारे स्टार्टअप जनरली क्या मिस्टेक करते हैं कि कोई आप कहते हैं 50 लाख में कर देंगे, हाँ जी 50 लाख में कर दूंगा. काम करने बैठते हैं तो जेब से 20 लाख और लग जाता है, 70 लाख में काम नहीं होता. सो व्हाट वी हैव टू डू इज वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग दैट आवर एस्टिमेशन शुड बी सच, एटलीस्ट आप पे लॉस नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक है. सो व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज दैट यू हैव टू क्रिएट योर ओन एस्टिमेशन शीट, राइट. इसमें क्या शामिल होगा, आपने अपनी कंपनी के एक आवर का रेट निकालना है. एक आवर का रेट कैसे निकलेगा, पूरी कंपनी के जितने एम्प्लॉइज हैं उनको ले लें, ठीक है, उनका सम ले लें, और जितने आपके ओवरहेड एक्सपेंसेस हैं, ऑफिस का रेंट हो गया, लोगों की इंश्योरेंस हो गई, आपके टीएडीएस हो गए, आपका पेटी एक्सपेंस हो गया, आपका इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल्स हो गए, व्हाटएवर दैट इज, सम एवरीथिंग, सारा कुछ जितना भी एक्सपेंस है उसको सम करें, उसको divided by 22, it will be daily expense, and divided by 8, it will be your hourly expense. जब आपके पास hourly expense आ जाए, उसके बाद कोई प्रोजेक्ट भी है वो hourly expense सेव कर ले अपने पास, that this is my hourly expense, ठीक है. उसके बाद जब भी कोई प्रोजेक्ट आता है उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट राइट डाउन करें, जॉट डाउन ऑल रिक्वायरमेंट, जैसे कि यहाँ पे हुई भी है, राइट. और रिक्वायरमेंट जॉट डाउन करने के बाद आगे लिखे मैन डेज, कि आपको क्या लगता है कि हर रिक्वायरमेंट के ऊपर आपके कितने मैन डेज लगेंगे. ये मैन डेज आप जब एस्टिमेट कर लें, उसके बाद देखिए कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी लिखें, डिसाइड 3 कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज, हाई लो मीडियम, ठीक है जी. कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी लिखें, अगर तो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी लो है तो उसमें आपको कुछ फर्दर ऐड करने की जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है जी. कैन यू हियर मी, कोई मसला तो नहीं अभी तक आया, जस्ट लेट मी चेक कि प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है.
Everything is fine, sir.
Perfect. Okay. अच्छा जी, let's move on. तो what you have to do is कि आपने complexity रखनी है. भले आपको लगता है कि requirement 1 के ऊपर 12 दिन लग रहे हैं, 2 के ऊपर 6 दिन लग रहे हैं, 3 के ऊपर आपके 7 days लग रहे हैं, but what you have to do is that you have to identify the complexity, right? और complexity अगर complexity low है तो ठीक है, 12 दिन लग रहे हैं तो कोई बात नहीं, 12 ही दिन लगे. लेकिन अगर complexity medium है तो add 20% of your hourly cost further on it, right? अगर complexity high है तो add 30% of your normal hourly rate on top of what this activity is taking, right? So that कि आपका जो risk है उस activity के ऊपर वो delay हो जाएगी, वो मुश्किल हो जाएगी, that is covered and handled, right? So this is something very important which we people miss. हम लोग सिंपल देखते हैं कि हमें पैसे ज्यादा आ रहे हैं, we undertake it. No, आपका एक्सपेंस भी होना है कल, ठीक है. So once you do it और इसको सम कर लें, तो this is the cost which you are going to pay. ये खर्चा आपको पड़ेगा इस प्रोजेक्ट का. अब इसके ऊपर प्रॉफिट कितना चार्ज करना है आपने, that all depends on you, कि आप उस पे 25% लेना चाहते हैं, 50% लेना चाहते हैं, 100% चार्ज करना है आपने, that is your company's prerogative, right? But reaching out this thing should be, this is extremely important sheet. And whoever have a problem in creating this sheet, you can write me an email. I'll give you my email address at the end of this webinar. You write me an email, I can share it with you, right? Or even you can create your own and you can discuss with me, but create your own artifact first. डे वन के ऊपर जब कंपनी स्टार्ट करें, आपके पास आपका आर्टिफैक्ट होना चाहिए कि आप जस्ट उसमें रिक्वायरमेंट डाला करें, आप मैनास डाला करें, कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी सेलेक्ट किया करें, और वो आपको आपका टोटल एक्सपेंस बता दिया करें. एंड दैट्स ऑल यू नीड, राइट? Okay, moving on. This is the now here you are done with your estimate. अगर आपकी अपनी प्रोडक्ट है तो भी आपको पता लग जाएगा आपका एक्सपेंस कितना होने वाला है. अगर वो आप किसी के लिए प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो भी आपको पता लग जाएगा कि इस प्रोजेक्ट पे आपका एक्सपेंस क्या होने वाला है, राइट? And you will tell it, you will receive the funding, you will receive the investment, you will create the investment, whatever your process is, and now you are ready to jump in, right? The next thing that we face when we jump in and we get into the development, at that time the problem which we face is that कि कौन क्या कर रहा है, क्या क्या काम है, क्या हो गया क्या नहीं हुआ, कितना काम रहता है. This is something which is another important thing which we have to focus on, right? So Kanban is one of the very famous way which generally we use in our projects as well, that you create your own Kanban, and for this you have got lots of tools, and I will show you that which tool we use generally and how it helps us. Okay, so you have got complete set of requirement already created over here. You created your requirements. अब आपने इस requirement उठाते जाना है और development करवाते जाना है, right? I will stop sharing my screen so that I can share the real system, right? Just hold on, please. Share. Just be with me, please. Okay, just have a look at it. This sheet, just have a look at it. Can you see the screen? I'm just showing you that estimate which I made. That was a screenshot, and you can see this Excel file now. You see, I have done. I have added all of my overhead expenses over here. सारे overhead expenses यहाँ पे आ गए, salaries आ गई. This is my total expense. And man day expense, what I did, I only divided my overhead expense with the 22, and this is my man day expense. And when I'm estimating, so मेरा man day expense is being multiplied with my man days, and on top of that, I am adding a specific percentage of this complexity, and that complexity has been decided over here. For every one step of the complexity, I'm adding 10% more as my risk factor, right? So these are the things which you have to understand. And then let me again share you another screen. Just hold on. Okay, so here is it. Let me just, sorry, I've got so many things open with me that can you see my screen? This can you see the screen?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes,
Wonderful. Okay, so just have a look at it. This is we use generally a system that's called Odoo, right? We use this Odoo system, and this Odoo system is really amazing. It helps us a lot in our systems. You see, this is my Kanban which I have created. My tickets generally move through to do. I create the tickets, then they can go to in progress, and then development done, and then design reviewed and deployed on QA. These are my phases. You can create your own phases as you want, right? You can create your own boards, and then whenever you are creating a ticket, right, you can just click on the create, and it will help you creating your own ticket, right? You see, this is one of my tickets. Just have a look at it. I can select the project. I can assign this ticket to anyone in my team. My all team members are here. I can assign this ticket to anyone, and then I can add tags. This is, for example, this ticket belongs to new patient app, and this ticket belongs to phase 3 of the project, right? I can add any kind of tags which are available over here. High priority, new feature, report, medium priority, any tags I can add over here, right? And then here I can write the description over here, and then there is timesheet and stuff like that. That's not very important, right? And you can see that this ticket is right now in to-do state. So wherever it will be, I can just move it from here as well. You see, here you can write details of the ticket. Whatever has to be done, डिजाइन अटैच कर दें इसके साथ, इसमें सारी डिस्क्रिप्शंस लिख दें, इसके टेस्ट केसेस लिख दें, whatever you want to add, just write down things over here, right? And once your ticket is done, right? I'm not saving it because it's my real system. Your tickets, all tickets that you keep creating, they keep on landing into your to-do board, right? And then people who are working on it, they can just move on ticket, they can drag it and move it anywhere they want, right? When they get into the progress, they just move it into progress. And when it is, if for example you need rework again, right, they are just going to make the rework again. Okay. Just let me move this ticket back because this is a real ticket which we are using. So I'm just moving this ticket back to to-do list, right? So this is how you see, and you can even mark a ticket a star so that people just remember it. Ticket is marked as star now, right? And you can add logs to a ticket. You can communicate on top of a ticket, right? So this is another important tool which you need to have when you are managing your project. So you collected your requirements first, you identified your requirements first, and then you estimated them, and you got the fundings or investments or the money, and then now you are managing it throughout using this board of yours, right? Just let me share again my presentation, and that is, there's so many things with me. Guys, just hold on. Actually, generally I use Zoom, and this is totally new. I can't see my presentation. Okay, it's over here. Okay, can you see my presentation now? So this is another thing: task assignment and tracking, right? Which you have to do. Always don't never forget to have a morning meeting. Morning meeting is something very simple. Just stand in a circle. You don't need to sit, because if you sit, it is going to take an hour, right? Just stand in a circle, and everybody has to tell that what they have done yesterday, what they are going to do today, and are they facing any problem. Just this. No more, no less, no long discussions, nothing much. This is all we need to do, right? Keep doing your morning meetings, keep creating tickets, keep tracking those tickets, right? And you will have a complete control on your short-term project, right? With these words, I will end up today's webinar. It's all from my side. I'm open to the house for any kind of questions you have got. Please ask the questions, and I'm all yours. Please. Okay, anyone, any questions you have got, feel free to ask. I have kept this very simple and focused, right? So that I just wanted to help out all those startups which are struggling like us to streamline their things.
Thank you, Mr. Wasim Irshad, for such
Come
an
on, guys,
informative
ask
and
any
delighted
questions you have.
session. Let's
Guys, thank you so much for your time. Really, हिम्मत है आप लोगों की कि आप लोगों ने सुना मुझे इतनी देर तक. If you need anything, my email address is wasim.irshad@gmail.com or wasim@tangentech.com. Any of these you can use. Let me just write it over here. Any kind of questions you have, I've just send it in the chat box. You can copy my email address and you can write me there. Thank you so much for your time. Imran, are we done?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Can you please recheck the spellings of the email address that you have just written, because I think there's a typo.
Yeah, there is. Thank you so much for your feedback. Okay, here is it.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, I have a little short question. You talked about the Kanban. I have already read about it in my project management subject in my master's. I would just like to know, in a very few lines, what exactly the purpose of this Kanban and how do you apply it? You have you have shown us the link and the other website that you use for that, but that was a kind of a bit complicated to understand. Can you just explain that in as short sentences as it is possible?
Sure, I can. Actually, the concept of Fanban, it's a Japanese concept and it came from this sticky note concept. जितनी भी रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं आपके, जितने काम हैं, उनको स्टिकी नोट्स पे लिख लें, ठीक है? अपने बोर्ड के ऊपर बना लें, टू डू, इन प्रोग्रेस, टेस्टिंग, डन, जो भी है, ठीक है? शुरू में सारे जितने भी स्टिकी नोट्स हैं, वो सारे टू डू के अंदर पेस्ट कर दें, ठीक है? और फिर जब जो काम इन प्रोग्रेस में होता है, उसका स्टिकी नोट उतारें, उसको पेस्ट करते जाएँ इन प्रोग्रेस के अंदर, राइट? और फिर उसको निकालें और उसको टेस्टिंग में ले जाएँ। फिर इस तरह से हर बंदा अपने स्टिकी नोट्स को मूव करता जाए, ठीक है? At any point in time, this board will keep showing you clear picture of what is the state of your rapid development. This is actually a rapid development tool. अगर आप लोग ट्रेडिशनल प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट जाना चाहें तो पूरे प्लान बनाए जाते हैं और उसको ट्रैकिंग होती है और बड़े डिपार्टमेंट होते हैं, बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द क्विक डेवलपमेंट्स, रैपिड डेवलपमेंट्स, तो उसमें ये टेक्निक्स बड़ी यूजफुल हैं. दीज आर कॉल्ड एजाइल टेक्निक्स और एजाइल टेक्निक्स आर क्वाइट यूजफुल. तो जब स्टिकी नोट शुरू में आए, स्टिकी नोट्स पे प्रॉब्लम ये होता था कि आप यू कैन राइट मच ऑन स्टिकी नोट, राइट? सो इसके लिए फिर सॉफ्टवेयर बनाए गए जिनके अंदर आप एक स्टिकी नोट को क्लिक करें, उसके अंदर डिटेल भी ऐड कर सकते हैं, आप वो स्टिकी नोट लोगों को साइन भी कर सकते हैं, और पीपल कैन मूव दोज टिकट्स एग्जैक्टली लाइक स्टिकी नोट फ्रॉम वन बोर्ड टू अदर. I hope.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. It was really nice to understand. Can you please tell me the tool that you have just shown, where you use these ticket generation and then assigning to the different people as their role according to their roles? Is that tool free of charge available on internet, or you have paid some subscription or something like that?
Okay, I have mentioned the names in the chatter box. One of
Yes,
the
sir.
tool is Odoo, right?
Okay.
This is also a free tool, right? But if you want to have customizations done, for that you have to pay. Otherwise, if you want to use the same tool, it is free, right? Then another free tool is Trello. You can just find it on web. This is totally free tool that is called Trello. You can use Trello. And then Jira. Jira is a paid tool, but it is more comprehensive tool, right? So I would say that even if you use Trello in start, that is fine.
Okay, great. Okay, sir, one last question. I have just came to know about this webinar on a WhatsApp status of my friend, and I don't know, is there a kind of series of these webinars, because I would like to get connected for the future, and or is there any a large amount of videos available at any platform that I can go through, which you have explained other aspects of the project management as well in detail? Because I am already going through the projects that I have to manage in my work, and I'm also planning to start my business in near future. So I think these things are very important, beneficial for me. I would like to go through them in detail with the passage of time, so to learn as maximum as possible.
Yeah. So that this community is actually a volunteering people. We are all volunteering to do whatever possible to our peers to help them out so that they can manage their projects in better way. Uh, the videos for all webinars are always uploaded on our YouTube channel. You can like it, Project Management Learning Hub. And then these are also shared on our Facebook page. And we generally have a webinar every 2 weeks, like that frequency, and we keep on announcing it. So if you like the page, you will keep getting the announcements and you can join webinars.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. It was really nice to have this information from your side. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
So thank you so much. Anyone else? Any questions you brought? Okay, ji, thank you so much. Imran, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be with such wonderful people. I will leave now. Thank you so much.